Welcome everybody to Mark Who 77. That's right, Mark Who 77, the show that talks all about British comic creators and creations dealing with 77 publishing. My name is Mark Baumgarten. With me today are Vicky Jakubowski and our special co-host today, Joe Healy. Hi, Joe.
Hiya, how you doing?
Well, except for the back, I'm doing great. Yes, I
Yeah.
must complain at least once every episode about my back. Ouch. No, I woke up. This was not a good morning for me, on steroids now. And I'm glad that all you listeners and watchers out there got to find out that little piece of information about me that really didn't need to be said. Vicky, what's been up with you?
Same old, working too much, crazy life, and now I'm ready for it to not be 100 degrees.
Here too, here too. Yeah, and that brings up weather.
Yes.
107 heat index. What's it by you, Joe?
It's been sultry.
Hmm.
So I've had the aircon on. If you remember last time I was on, I was bemoaning the fact that I'd bought an air conditioner and then never had to use
Yes.
it.
Well, now you do.
So yeah, it's been warm, but probably only about 24, 25.
Uh,
Obviously, further up the country, it's been a lot hotter. I think
yeah.
some places have been getting 30 degrees. I'm quite glad we don't get that down here.
Oh, I wish I
Touch
was
wood.
like that. Yeah, touch wood, definitely touch wood. And speaking touch wood, that's kind of like a supernatural kind of thing. And if you notice on the
Mm.
credits, this is the Penny Pentagram special. Woo! And there's a special book, 4-issue series coming out, isn't there, Joe?
Indeed, we have got an amazing quartet of comics for Penny Pentagram. It's going to, in the UK, it's going to be under Pandora Presents because Penny moved from the 77 and the annual over to Pandora. And
Hmm.
obviously because of life, because of things, Pandora 2 hasn't uh, appeared.
Yeah,
But what we really wanted to do was get Penny out there and out to the readers who, if I'm quite honest, she's a firm fan favourite. And
definitely,
I
definitely.
I approached David and Andy and asked if they would be, if there was any way they'd consider this sort of like standalone comic.
Hmm.
And to my surprise, I said, yeah, because we're writing one at the moment. So all the cogs fell into place. So the other really sort of exciting thing about this project is it's not just the first standalone project. It's also going to be in US comic book format size.
Yeah.
So we're going down. We're thinning down a little. So it's not going to be your usual big stonking 77 comic where you can certainly have a siesta with the comic over your face. Um, it's certainly going to be what I would consider like a handbag size. You can
Hmm.
quite easily put in your bag on the train, or if you're catching a bus somewhere, and catch up with the stories of Penny.
Oh, that's great. Um, it is wonderful that this is happening. Before we move on, I want to let everyone know, if you enjoy this, or even if you don't enjoy us, please subscribe and hit like below. We definitely want you to do that. 77 publications, 77 publishing, all one thing now. Um, okay. Why don't we bring on or just about to bring on our guest. Joe, can you introduce them?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got David Thomas, the writer of Penny Pentagram. He's based in Wales, and we also have Andy Richmond, who's based in Bath. He
Hmm.
has been on Mark Who 77 a few
And
times,
and
actually.
42. He's been on
A-
42 and 77. Yeah.
Absolutely, and he created that wonderful advert
Hmm.
for you and Vicky.
Yeah.
So Andy's on the art duties for this one, and he's also my art editor for
Okay.
the comic.
All right. Well, we're going to bring them out, but right before we bring them out, let's watch this video, a little presentation about the new comic Penny Pentagram, or Pandora Presents Penny Pentagram. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and let's introduce the people responsible for what Penny Pentagram is. We did introduce them, Andrew and David. Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Okay. So I'm glad you guys are here. I love Penny Pentagram. I've loved it, loved her in the 77. I've loved her in Pandora. Well, I'll get to what I also liked her in. I want to start the show. Now, we always start the show with the hardest question. You know that, right, Vicky? We always start with the hardest question.
Sure.
Yeah. And, so I was going to ask the hardest question, but, then I realized, what? Joe and Andrew have already faced the hardest question. So I think we're not going to ask him that question. We may ask him about something else, but we're not going to ask him that question. This question is down to David. David, are you ready for the hardest question? This is the question that is hard. Get it out of the way, and then everything else is easy. Okay?
Okay, I like the sound of that.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. This ready? Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Who is David Thomas?
Oh, who's David Thomas?
Hardest question.
That's a psychological question. Who is David? David Thomas is a guy who writes the Penny
We start with
Pentagram.
the existential.
Oh yeah, we go
question.
existential. I mean, this is all in part of it. Yeah.
Just a humble guy trying to carve out a career in comics and trying not to fall flat on his face in the process.
All right.
I don't know how you're supposed to answer that. It's trickier than you think.
Oh no, it is. That's why it's the hard. That's why I always say it's the hard question. Yeah, this stumps people.
I just David Thomas who goes through his days arguing with people sometimes and sometimes arguing with people.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Some days he doesn't get himself confused with scripts.
Oops.
Yeah, you shouldn't see that actually.
Oh, okay. That's why we had a close up on it, so we can't see it.
Oh no, no. I'm a writer who's trying to make a difference, trying to put a new spin on it, a new angle.
Okay.
I'm right. We can. I'm sort of getting my bearings on it. Yeah, I'm a writer who's trying to be honest and write some good stories that hopefully they'll mean something. They'll mean something. I'm trying to do a new form, a narrative. Say that. Yeah, I'm trying to mimic life in comics, and it's not. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it works.
Right.
I think it might work.
All right.
So
now we now know who David Thomas is. Is that what you're telling us? We now know.
Yeah, and I write comics 8 days a week. 8 days a week.
8 days a week.
8 days a week. I write comics every moment I got my hand. Every moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, here we go. Now I want to ask Joe and Andrew. I'm not asking them the hard question, but I just want them to introduce themselves a little and give us their background. Joe, why don't you go first?
Thank you. My name's Joe Healy. I fell down sort of a rabbit hole of comics back in about 2020, supporting my brother with his sort of first comic strips in the 77 comic. I don't know how it happened. I will always say that. But I've stuck around, and I also write comics, and I'm editing Penny Pentagram, this Pandora Presents in the UK, and it will be the 77 Presents in the US. So just to get that clarified. But yeah, I would say I'm Jill of all trades, possibly mistress of none. But what I've learned over the past few years has been invaluable. So yeah, really pleased that we're doing this.
What I like the fact, so if they do the Kickstarter campaign, if they join the Kickstarter campaign, they'll get a Pandora Presents. But then I'm in America. I can buy a different edition. I could have two different, well, plus variants. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
I got some
Multiple
money. I'm
editions.
making some money here in collectibles. Yeah, there you go. Uh, oh, guys, if you want to do the Pentagram Kickstarter campaign, go to Kickstarter.com, type in Penny Pentagram into the lovely little search bar, and you will find it. Okay. Okay. Actually, I have a good question for David. David,
Ooh,
what are your geek creds?
geek creds. Ooh.
Yeah, your geek creds.
Uh, my geek creds. Uh,
You're just mean.
what do you mean by that? I'm hard work sometimes. I'm
Oh,
hard work.
like, what science fiction, what novels, what type of
What
TV,
fantasy?
what
What
stuff do
what
you like?
things are you a
Drama?
fan
What are you
of?
in?
Oh, what I'm well, that's my Alan Moore shelf there.
Oh, and you win the internet. There you go.
Ooh.
You win the internet. There you
And
go.
that's my Swamp Thing over there. It's going to get thing.
Ooh.
I once geek thing. I once had a Zoom meeting and Keanu Reeves was in it.
Ah.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You win.
That's good.
He didn't speak to me. He didn't.
Doesn't matter. He was there.
Yes, anything sci-fi, anything. I'm slowly unpacking this because I forgot to read it. That baby.
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
don't. I
That
missed
is
it
a
and missed it.
it's a fantastic,
Is it really?
fantastic piece. Yeah,
I'm just starting it. I'm just starting it.
Hmm.
the
And so
artwork is amazing.
he's one of my all-time heroes. He is. He's
Mm.
sort of, and I've also discovered this guy. I think I showed it the other night. That
Yes.
one.
Yeah, I think you did. Yes.
Oh my days!
Yeah.
What a comic! What a comic!
I
That
just
was
I just saw that there's a new Rocketeer series
yeah.
coming
I've
out. It
seen
just
that
came
as
out.
well.
Issue one, I just
Yeah,
think came
I've
out
seen
this
that.
week. Yeah.
I I I don't buy comics as much as I should, to be
Hmm.
honest, because I find that there's comics. We need to get back to like music. We
Hmm.
need to get back to a top 40 where everyone agrees on the top 40.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
too many. It needs to
Yes.
come back. I don't know if you guys had, because Joe will know what I mean here.
Okay.
Where on the Sunday night it was top of the pops for the top 40. Everyone knew what was a good comic.
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
having that problem
Mhm.
now. There's so much options that you're drowning in it. Where
I
before,
agree.
back in the day, you knew that number one was a
Hmm.
good song, but now
Yeah.
you can have 20 number ones, and
Right.
Yeah.
there needs the American market and the UK needs to agree on what's good comics.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of drowning out music everywhere.
Mm,
There's a lot.
yeah.
Was it Comics Confidential about that Deadskin, the new up one? I get that twice a year.
Okay.
And
No.
that's my only link into comics.
Is it really?
Well,
Yeah.
Forbidden Planet,
Yeah.
whew, it's hard work. And a comic shop is shut down this week in my
Oh,
hometown.
wow. That's
So,
horrible.
so it's very, as it goes now.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's we need. I think the industry needs to agree on a top 40,
Hmm.
like it used.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah.
we're drowning out in the music of it all, and no
Do
one's.
you do you think Penny Pentagram would be in that top 40?
It better be. Yeah. If it ain't, it's in 41.
I
It's,
will put it there for you. I
I
will
think there should be. I think there should be like main and indie. There should be two top 40s. What's the
Yeah,
main
okay.
and what's an
Okay.
Yeah.
indie one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of know what to look for because up to
Yeah.
now, I'm missing good comics.
Yeah.
Everyone is like we're all missing good films. We're all missing good music because no one's agreeing on what's the top 40.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that'll stabilize a lot of stuff because there's good stuff slipping by.
Yeah.
All
I agree.
good stuff,
I
and
agree.
it's good
Well, it's
comics.
funny because I was really into comics along with every other fandom of things that I loved growing up. Comics was one thing that I felt that fell to the wayside. I grew up in military and moved every couple of years.
Mm.
And it just, when I became an adult, it was one of those things that I didn't keep up on
Yeah,
buying
same here.
comics. I did with films, I did with LPs. Um, Although my LPs were destroyed in a move and I've had to rebuild the collection slowly. Um, and um, and actually it was getting starting to work with the 77 that I've started to get back into comic books. I still love comic books. I still love my characters. I love my superhero movies. I'm a total geek. But it was funny how it was the 77 that got me back into, ooh, I can't wait for the next issue.
Yeah.
And I haven't been like that in probably 30 years. And so, and I miss that. And I miss
Same here.
that joy and that, and there's so much out there and there's so many
Yeah, the
different
buzz of the
levels.
latest release. Yeah, like Guess Who's Back with a new series. You don't seem to get that. You don't.
No,
You don't seem to get
I
that.
don't even know what's out there anymore unless it's like directly in my purview.
Yeah,
It's not the same way that it was when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s.
yeah,
It's
comics.
not.
Yeah, maybe it was the heyday. We've seen the last of the because I feel comics as well. It's we're coming to the end of it, and I know Andy don't like it. I feel in some ways comics, the medium of it is becoming like theater and TV. We know everything about it. There's
Mm,
so few tricks where I was lucky. I think we were all lucky to see the last of the of comics where like Watchmen came out. It was new. Swamp.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
saw those new, and somewhere in 1997, a light went out slowly, and we're
Yeah.
seeing less and less new and more repeat.
Yeah.
The art is all discovered. There's no new lands to discover, and I don't mean that in a derogatory. I don't mean that
Hmm.
in a bad way. I just mean in a way that maybe are not far from the truth, where we're not in the 80s anymore.
No.
It's kind of
No,
new ground.
but the 77 has sort of broken that new ground, and obviously, bringing Penny Pentagram to their own comic as well. We've
Um,
got that quartet of comics. So yeah, I'd say
there's
I
still
get
a little land left. You say
Yeah.
there's a little prayer.
yeah, yeah,
See, I would say yes, and it's how you say it. There's new ways of saying comics. There's new ways to say an art, and it's trying to figure that out. It's trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Speaking of the comics and the time, the 97 where you're saying the light went out, I just finished reading Comic Book Punks by Carl Stock, told the whole history of British and world
Yeah.
comics. And it was fascinating read. I just finished that the other day. Okay. Why don't we keep moving on? Let's move a little bit about Penny Pentagram. Vicky, do you want to take the next question?
Well, yes. Okay, so Penty Pentagram is this great comic, and it started off in the 77. But
37.
tell
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about who Penny is.
Yeah.